My fiancé is wonderful. Pregnant with her best male friend's child. And then, announcing the cancellation of our wedding. From Monday to Friday, she will stay with the baby's biological father. Then she will grace me by coming home to sleep with me on the weekends. Once she has given birth, she will make it up to me. Does she really think I am some kind of cuckold? A mere substitute to take the fall? She picked up her suitcase and walked straight out without looking back. Fine, you have calculated everything perfectly. So have I. The phone rang. The person on the other end sobbed and asked, "Will you marry me?" I did not hesitate for a second and replied with a single word. Yes. You want to have it both ways? I will make sure you lose everything. A summer night in the Hamptons. The air was hot and humid like a wet towel wrapped around one's body. Neon lights shimmered on the rooftop bar by Lake Tahoe. We booked the entire venue to hold a bachelor party before the wedding for Ada and me. Friends were clamoring to play Truth or Dare. The atmosphere had reached such a peak that it was impossible not to play. The bottle spun to Nicola, Ada's eternal best friend. From college, I had met him a few times. His gaze always seemed lingering and sticky, looking at Ada the wrong way, and looking at me even more wrongly, filled with hostility. When a man looks at another man, I still have that instinct. Ada always said, "You are overthinking it, his family situation isn't good. His personality is a bit lonely. He just sees me as his own sister." His own sister, right? Someone asked him to choose Truth or Dare. He smirked and chose Truth. Those eyes pierced right through the crowd, not looking at Ada, but staring directly at me. Like a snake stalking its prey. Tell an earth-shattering secret that the whole group doesn't know. Everyone shouted. Nicola raised his glass and drained it. The glass slammed hard onto the glass table, making a loud clink. He looked at me, his voice not loud, but every word was like a nail being driven into wood. Ada is pregnant. The baby is mine. The air froze. 3 seconds later, the whole group burst out laughing. Haha, Nicola, you're playing way too hard. Oh my god, what a shock. I almost believed it. This dare is amazing. Penalty drinks. Penalty drinks. Alan, your face is completely pale. Ha ha ha. Everyone was doubled over in laughter, considering it an excessive joke. A bomb dropped just for effect. Amidst the laughter, I looked at Ada. She was not laughing. Her face was deathly pale, her fingers gripping the glass, her knuckles turning white. In her eyes, there was no joking, only panic, like a thief caught red-handed. My heart skipped a beat, sinking straight into an ice cellar, chilled from head to toe, piercing through every pore. The laughter gradually died down. Everyone realized something was wrong. Ada's expression, my expression, and even Nicola with that provocative, nothing left to lose look on his face. This was not a joke. I didn't feel the heat anymore, only the cold. The party ended abruptly. Friends avoided eye contact, patting my shoulder but unable to utter a single word of comfort. Nicola was half pushed, half dragged away by a few friends. Before leaving, he turned back to look at Ada. One last time, his gaze full of possessiveness. Only Ada and I remained on the terrace. The lake wind blew, carrying the scent of water. She tucked her hair behind her ear, avoiding my gaze, looking toward the Manhattan skyline sparkling with distant neon lights. A deathly silence. Alan. She spoke, her voice slightly hoarse and full of sorrow, as if she were reciting a melancholy poem. I said nothing, waiting. That matter is true. Boom. A mine exploded in my head, but no expression showed on my face. I just looked at her as if looking at a stranger. 3 years of feelings gone down the drain. Don't think too much, she hurriedly explained. He is just my best friend. You know how many years we have known each other. It was just that night of the class reunion. Everyone was wasted, blacked out. It was just an accident, purely an accident. Accident? Blackout? Best friend? These words, strung together, were sharper than a knife, cutting into me stroke by stroke. She continued, her voice very fast, as if wanting to pour out all the words she had already prepared. His family isn't good, you know that. His father doesn't love him, his mother doesn't care, he doesn't plan to ever get married. He just specifically wants to have a child for companionship. He said he would raise it himself. No need for us to worry, I'm telling the truth. I looked at that face I once found so incredibly pure. Every pore on it now screamed of sophisticated calculation. I nodded, my throat dry, squeezing out 2 words, and then? I wanted to hear what else earth-shattering she could possibly say. Her, and then, was the real focus of the story. Seeing that I didn't lose my temper, Ada seemed to think there was a chance, and her tone became slightly more relaxed. So you see, he is the baby's father after all, right? He also wants to witness the baby's growth during the pregnancy. He doesn't want to miss out. The baby is innocent. I've thought about it. In the future, on weekdays, from Monday to Friday, I will live at his house to make caretaking easier. After all, he has experience. She paused, as if granting me a great favor. Don't worry, on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I will definitely come home back to our home to sleep with you. This house in Beverly Hills was paid for by my down payment, and I alone pay the bank mortgage. The deed only has my name, Alan. She lightly calls it our home. Before I could even process the divine maneuver of her staying at the baby father's house from Monday to Friday and then returning to her husband's house on weekends, she dropped another bomb: the wedding next month. Let's cancel it. Look at me now. I won't look good in a wedding dress. Right? Wait until I've given birth, regained my figure, and everything is back on track. I will make it up to you thoughtfully. Give you a more perfect wedding. Okay? After speaking, she looked at me with sparkling eyes, as if saying, do you see how wonderful my arrangement is? How thoughtful, every aspect has been taken care of. She didn't even say a word of apology. No apology, just an announcement. Announcing she is pregnant with someone else's child. Announcing she will move in with the biological father. Announcing our wedding is cancelled. Announcing I am just a weekend husband. A spare tire. A wrong tycoon, waiting for her to finish having someone else's child before she returns to make it up to me. She threw my self-respect and my feelings to the ground and trampled them, then told me this was the optimal solution. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. Laughed out of rage. Wonderful. I looked at her, every word clear. You have calculated very thoroughly. So thoroughly that you haven't left me half a path to live. Ada clearly breathed a sigh of relief, her face showing a burden lifted. She thought I had agreed, had accepted. She even cozied up to me, acting spoiled, wanting to take my arm. I knew it. Alan is the best, the most generous. My body stiffened, showing no emotion, as I lightly dodged her hand. She didn't mind, turning to leave. Then I'm going back to pack my things. Nicola is still waiting for me downstairs. I'll be back this weekend. She carried her small bag, her steps light, leaving without looking back, like a bird finally escaped from a cage. I stood on the terrace, watching her silhouette fade away. The lights along the lake suddenly became blurry. I reached out to wipe the corner of my eye. How humiliating. Being cheated on in such an ethereal way, arranged so transparently. I turned and walked into the bar, settled the bill with the owner, and took a taxi home, back to the so-called our home. In the house, the happiness wedding decorations were still not fully removed. On the tea table was our wedding photo. In the photo, she smiled like a flower, and my eyes were full of pampering, pure irony. I began to pack my luggage, not hers, but mine. Staying in this place for one more second made me feel disgusted. The phone suddenly rang. The ringtone was piercing in the empty living room, a familiar yet strange number. I picked up, saying nothing. The person on the other end was clearly drunk, her voice slurred, carrying a sob. Even through the phone, I could smell the alcohol. It was a girl. Alan, I like you so much. Can you hear me? I've liked you for a long time. Don't marry her. That Ada. She's not worthy of you. Will you marry me? Do you dare to marry me? The voice was like popping beans. Hurried, carrying a reckless desperation. Catherine, my college classmate. After graduation. Working in the same city. Occasional contact, not too close. She was still single. I only considered her a normal friend. I froze. My mind went blank, then became crystal clear. All the humiliation, the resentment, the fury in this moment found an exit, a crazy exit regardless of the consequences. I spoke toward the phone, my voice calm. The weather is nice today. I said, okay. The other end was dead silent. Then came the sound of heavy breathing, so loud it sounded stifled. I hung up. The world was quiet. Ada, you have calculated very thoroughly. So have I. After hanging up on Catherine, I took my suitcase and locked the door to go downstairs. This 1.500 square foot honeymoon apartment, I didn't spare it another glance. Things already dirtied are no longer needed. I rented a hotel room downstairs and took a shower, turned the water to the hottest setting, washing away the layers of ash and dust clinging to me. My mind was a mess, yet incredibly sober. Ada's face, Nicola's provocative smile, Catherine's sobbing voice asking, "Will you marry me?" spinning like a revolving lantern. I didn't sleep, sitting by the window, watching the Hampton night gradually fade away as daylight dawned. I had bought baby clothes for the child in her womb, had researched baby cribs, had even secretly looked up how to change a newborn's diaper. I had joyfully looked forward to our wedding, our future. Ada, an accident, a thorough arrangement, had smashed all my expectations into fragments. What did she think I was? An ATM that Ada could call at will and dismiss at whim? A cuckold raising someone else's child? A weak man with no anger, no self-respect? She had vastly underestimated me. Alan Turing. Early at 7 a.m., I sent a message to Catherine. Are you awake? Bring your household registry and ID card. 9 a.m., meet at the entrance of the Manhattan Civil Registry office. No redundant words. It took exactly 5 minutes for the other side to reply. Okay. One word, no regrets, no doubts. I checked out and took a taxi. At 8:50, I arrived at the Civil Registry office. The sun was shining beautifully, the sunlight dazzling. Catherine was already standing there. Today she wore no makeup, just a simple white shirt and jeans. Her hair was tied in a ponytail. Her eyes were slightly swollen. It was clear she had cried last night, or stayed up all night. She gripped her registry book and ID. Seeing me, her gaze slightly avoided mine, then turned resolute with a hint of recklessness. You really came? Her voice trembled slightly. I'm here. I walked up to her. Does what you said last night still count? Catherine bit her lip, her face flushing red, as if using all her strength. It counts, Alan. I was drunk, but what I said was from the heart. I've liked you since college. I knew you were about to marry Ada. And I held it back. Hearing your news. I couldn't hold back. Her eyes turned red again. Don't cry. I looked at her. Ada and I are finished. Completely finished. The wedding is cancelled. We've broken up. She is pregnant with someone else's child and moved in with the father. I told the worst truth in the calmest tone. Catherine widened her eyes, her face filled with disbelief. How could she be like that? It doesn't matter anymore, I interrupted her. I'm only asking you one question. Catherine, do you still want to marry me? Not drunken words, not out of pity, not an impulse. Think carefully. This is not love. I knew it. It might be revenge. It might be an escape. It might just be wanting to find a way to return the humiliation that Ada had caused me. But looking into Catherine's eyes, there was undisguised affection. There was a reckless courage. There was a sincerity I once saw in Ada, which then vanished. Catherine looked at me, tears falling, but she smiled. I do, Alan, I do. I am very sober. I have waited for this moment for many years. The Civil Registry office opened. We were the first ones. Filling out forms, taking photos, swearing oaths, stamping seals. The staff worked very fast. In less than 20 minutes, 2 red booklets were handed to us. On the marriage registration photo, I was expressionless, while Catherine's eyes were red and swollen, but the corners of her mouth were turned up. I, Alan Turing, and Catherine were now legally husband and wife. Everything happened as fast as a dream. Stepping out of the civil registry office, the sunlight shone on the red booklets, making them feel hot in my hands. Did we really get married? Catherine was still a bit dazed. Yes, it's legal now. I put away my booklet. So, where do we go now? She asked cautiously. Let's go have a bowl of menudo for breakfast first. Then come with me to do a few things, I said. My phone had been ringing incessantly since last night. Messenger messages, calls. There were friends inquiring cautiously. There were my parents calling with worried concern. And of course, there was Ada. Last night. What are you doing? Why aren't you replying to messages? Alan. Are you asleep? This morning. Good morning. I bought the small tamales you like most. They're in the fridge. See you this weekend. Alan. Where are you? Why is your suitcase gone? What is the meaning of this? Did you move your things out? Alan. Pick up the phone. Message after message, increasingly restless. She was still living in her thorough plan, thinking I was just throwing a tantrum. I didn't reply to any of them. I took Catherine to have a bowl of menudo in Los Angeles. She ate very slowly, occasionally looking up at me, wanting to speak but then hesitating. If you have something to say it. I put down my chopsticks. Alan, did you only marry me to spite Ada? She asked directly, with fear in her eyes of hearing an affirmative answer. I looked at her. Initially, yes, I admit it. Last night, when I received your call, my mind was ablaze with anger. Why should she be able to disdain me like that while I have to be a saint? If she can find the babies. Father, why can't I marry someone else? Catherine's eyes dimmed. But, I continued, when I saw you at the entrance of the civil registry office, I suddenly thought, this is good too. Catherine, I don't love Ada anymore, not one bit, but right now I also can't say I love you. Ours is a flash marriage, an impulse, but Alan. Now that we've stamped the seal and received the certificate, I will be responsible for you. We can try, you give me time, and I'll give you time. If you find it unsuitable, we can. Catherine cut me off. I don't need it to be unsuitable. Alan. I don't care what the beginning was. I only know that I am your wife now. I will try my best. I believe in you. Her eyes were very bright. I nodded. Fine. Now, Mrs. Johnson. Come with me to the bank, then to the lawyer's office, and finally back home for a visit. I wanted to take back every single thing I had given away. The humiliation Ada caused me, I would return it manifold. I went to the bank first, transferred all the savings in the cards under my name to a new card with a password only I knew. Then, I blocked all the supplementary cards of the old accounts. Ada had a supplementary card of mine that she usually used for her daily expenses. Next was a visit to a lawyer I knew, consulted about the dowry, premarital assets, and mental distress. My lawyer friend listened to my story, and his jaw almost dropped. Buddy, even a TV drama wouldn't dare to write a plot like this. Incredible. Cut the nonsense. Help me draft a lawyer's letter. The $30 in jewelry, gold, handbags, clothes, and all major expenses bought for her, list them all. Not a penny less. Demand she return them. As for the house, the down payment and bank loans were all mine. Premarital assets. Tell her to move out immediately. No problem. I'll definitely win this case. She is clearly the party at fault. Wait, did you really register your marriage with Catherine? Damn, the speed of you two is like a rocket. Don't mind other people's business. Get to work. The lawyer chuckled. As you wish, I'll have it done for you today. Finally, I took Catherine back to the so-called home. I used the key to open the door. The door only opened a crack before being stopped by the security chain inside. Ada's voice came from within, carrying anger. Alan, what do you mean by this? Disappearing? You left me alone at home and ran off where? Do you know I'm pregnant? She still didn't realize the severity of the situation. I didn't speak. I took out my phone and dialed a number. Hello, Mr. Edison? This is Alan. Please. Bring your tools over. My house lock is broken and needs a new type of lock. Yes. Right now. You already know the address. Hanging up, I turned toward the crack in the door where Ada was standing. My voice cold. Ada, open the door, or I'll have the locksmith break it down. Silence followed for a few seconds. Then came the clattering sound of the chain. The door opened. Ada stood at the threshold, her eyes red and swollen. Looking haggard, her belly wasn't big yet, but her stubborn arrogance hadn't diminished one bit. Alan, are you crazy? Do you know I was looking for you? Her words choked up. She saw me, and she saw Catherine standing beside me, along with my hand naturally holding Catherine's hand. Ada's face turned pale instantly. She pointed at Catherine, her finger trembling. What is she doing here? Alan, what do you mean by this? I held Catherine's hand, brushed past her, and stepped into the living room. Let me introduce you. I turned back to look at Ada, who was standing there as stiff as a board. This is Catherine, my wife. We just registered our marriage this morning. I pulled the still warm red booklet out of my pocket and waved it slightly before her eyes. Ms. Lovelace, this is my house. Please pack your things and leave immediately. Additionally, a letter from my lawyer will be delivered to you shortly. The dowry, the assets, not a penny less, everything must be returned. Monday to Friday, weekends, back on track. Make it up. I laughed, a cold, piercing laugh. Ada, your plan was very thorough. But I'm sorry, that road is a dead end. Ada's body swayed, like a piece of wood drained of all its water, and she collapsed. I didn't catch her. Catherine let out a small gasp and wanted to step forward, but I pulled her back. Don't touch things that are already filthy. Ada fell onto the cold floor. She hadn't actually fainted. Her legs had simply gone weak from fear. She sat there, looking up at me, then at Catherine. Her gaze shifted from horror to disbelief, finally turning into a surge of rage and extreme grievance. Alan, you're insane. You dared to register a marriage with someone else. You just want to get back at me. You're using your own marriage as a joke. Catherine, you little vulture. You're just taking advantage of the chaos. She began to scream, her voice shrill. Catherine's face paled from the verbal abuse, and she instinctively shrank behind my back. I shielded her, looking coldly at Ada sitting on the floor. Ada, watch your words. This is my legal wife. The one who needs to get out is you. The crazy one is you, not me. You are pregnant with another man's child, planning to live with him. Yet you want to occupy my house and keep me as a spare tire? A Michelin boy? Where do you get the nerve to say I'm seeking revenge? My voice wasn't high, but every word hit her face like a shard of ice. I just wanted to give the baby a complete environment to grow up in. I said I'd be back on the weekends. After the birth, we'd be just like before. She wailed, trying to stand up, but her limbs remained limp. You sleep with Nicola, carry his child, live at his house, and then come back to sleep with me on weekends? Ada, what do you take me for? A recycling bin? I laughed out of sheer anger at her logic. Stop the nonsense. Pack your things and get out. Just then, the doorbell rang. Mr. Edison, the locksmith, had arrived, along with 2 apprentices in a toolbox. Mr. Edison, please, change the locks, erase all fingerprints and passcodes, and reset everything from scratch. I stepped aside to let them in. Ada completely panicked when she saw the locksmith. She scrambled over to grab my leg. Alan, don't, please, I was wrong. I really was wrong. I won't stay at his house anymore. I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay here. The baby. We'll raise the baby together. I won't let him see the child ever again. Please don't kick me out. I'm pregnant. She sobbed uncontrollably, her face a mess of tears and snot. Disgusting. I felt truly disgusted. If she knew it would end like this, why did she do it in the first place? She was begging now, not because she loved me, or because she was remorseful, but because she realized the thorough plan she had painstakingly arranged had collapsed. She thought she could have it both ways. Enjoy life with the baby's father, while keeping me as her long-term meal ticket. Now the ticket was gone. And the house was gone too. She was terrified. I used my strength to pull my leg away. Ada, don't touch me. You're begging me now because Catherine and I are married. Because I'm changing the locks. Because I'm reclaiming the house and the dowry. If today I had still stupidly nodded and said, wonderful, like last night, wouldn't you be happily at Nicola's house right now? Perhaps even decorating a nursery? I had struck the bullseye of her hidden motives, her sobbing caught in her throat. That phone call to Nicola. You made it after the party last night, didn't you? Did he tell you that his cramped little apartment wasn't enough space to live, and told you to find a way to keep this house? He's just a penniless wretch. His family situation is indeed bad, but more importantly, he can't afford to support you and the child, can he? He only wanted to pass on his genes. He never thought about taking responsibility. And you, while you longed for him, you didn't want to live in poverty. So you came up with this best of both worlds scheme to make me the sucker? I exposed every single one of her calculations. Ada's face was as white as paper. How did you know? I smiled coldly. If you don't want people to know, don't do it. Ada, you were too greedy. You wanted the fish and the bear's paw, and in the end, you'll have nothing. Mr. Locksmith, change the locks. I didn't look at her again. Mr. Edison and his apprentices were efficient. In a flash, they removed the old lock cylinder and installed a new one. All done. Mr. Turing, you and Ms. Johnson come record your fingerprints. Thank you. I took Catherine's hand and let her place her finger on the new sensor. The sound, verification successful, rang out. The mistress of the house had changed. Ada watched this scene, her eyes filled with utter despair. Alan, you can't treat me like this. You're heartless. My heart died last night. I pointed at the door. Your belongings. I will have them packed and sent to you. Or you can pack them yourself right now. You have half an hour. If you aren't gone in 30 minutes, I'm calling the police for illegal trespassing. And what about Nicola, your good best friend, the baby's father? Call him to pick you up. Didn't you say you'd be at his house on weekdays? Consider it. Starting your shift early today. I delivered one final blow. Ada's phone rang. Speak of the devil. The screen flashed the name, Nicola. She acted as if she had grabbed a life-saving straw. She answered, turned on the speaker, and screamed, Nicola, get over here right now. Alan has lost it. He registered a marriage with Catherine. He's changing the locks and kicking me out. Get here now. She wanted Nicola to come and back her up. But the voice on the other end was not the hero she imagined. Nicola's voice was filled with intense irritation. What do you mean by registered marriage? He kicked you out? Ada, what the hell are you doing? Didn't we already talk this through? That house belongs to Alan, if he wants to kick you out. What am I supposed to do? My place is tiny, you already know that. If you come here now, we'll both starve. Go back and say some sweet things to him, don't make things any more tense. I'm telling you, my mother just called to scold me, asking what your plan is and how the dowry is going to be repaid. I don't have any money. If you want to have the baby, then have it, but I don't have the cash to support your high-end lifestyle. Beep, beep, beep. Nicola hung up. He left Ada standing there frozen, her eyes wide open. The silence was terrifying. Ada's last life-saving straw had snapped. Not only did it snap, but it turned around and slapped her. Nicola, the man who said he only wanted to keep the baby for companionship and would raise it himself, chose to push her away immediately when faced with money and trouble. Best male friend, good sister, it was all meaningless. Did you hear that, Ms. Lovelace? I looked at her stunned face. There wasn't a hint of pity in my heart, only a sense of satisfaction. Your support system doesn't seem very reliable. Hurry up and pack your things. Don't make me call security. Catherine gently pulled my sleeve, a look of hesitation in her eyes. I patted her hand, signaling there was no need to worry. To be kind to your enemy is to be cruel to yourself. If Ada had shown even a shred of mercy, toward me last night, things wouldn't have come to this. Ada looked as if her bones had been removed. She wasn't crying anymore. Nor was she screaming. Her gaze was vacant. She slowly stood up, staggered into the bedroom, and began to pack clothes, makeup, a few trinkets. When she bought those designer handbags, she used my card. Without blinking. Now, those items were stuffed into a suitcase by her like trash. A messenger notification from my lawyer friend arrived. The electronic version of the lawyer's letter has been sent to her. The express hard copy has been dispatched. Targets: the homes of Ada's parents and Nicola. The address list has been finalized. The dowry plus other expenditures, totaling $60, not a single penny less. I took a screenshot of that list and sent it to Ada. You have 7 days to return this full amount. Otherwise, I'll see you in court. Her hands, which were packing her belongings, stopped. She looked at the phone screen, her body trembling violently. $60. She was unemployed. Nicola had no money. Her parents were just ordinary civil servants. This amount was a staggering figure for their family. Every escape route she had imagined had been completely blocked by me. Half an hour later, Ada dragged a suitcase out of my door like a stray dog who had lost its master. The door slammed shut with a thud. The new lock clicked into place with a sharp snap. Complete silence. Catherine let out a long sigh. She's really gone. Yeah, I looked at the clean living room. Although there were still traces of Ada, the air felt much fresher. Alan, this house. I plan to sell it. I cut her off. We'll buy a new one. Buy the one you like. In both our names. Catherine's eyes sparkled, as if filled with starlight. Okay, I agree. She nodded vigorously and took the initiative to hug me. Her body was very warm, very real. The thrill of revenge was like an electric current, running from head to toe, relaxing every pore. But this was only the beginning. Ada and Nicola owe me. I will make them spit it all back out with interest. The house was put up for sale. The broker was very efficient. I set the price slightly below market value, so people came to view it very quickly. Catherine and I moved into her small apartment temporarily. The place wasn't large, 1 bedroom, 1 living room, but it was clean and cozy. Every corner breathed with life, unlike that large house, which was cold and full of calculation. Catherine carefully looked after my emotions. She didn't say much, but she was always there when I needed her, bringing me a glass of water, or just staying by my side in silence. The fact that she said she had liked me for years was not a lie. Her phone wallpaper was a photo of us taken after college graduation. She was standing in the corner, but her eyes were always directed at me. In my heart, there was a strange, indescribable feeling. The plan for revenge against Ada proceeded in an orderly fashion. The lawyer's letter was like a bomb, exploding in the lives of Ada and Nicola. The first people to jump in outrage were Ada's parents. They called me. First, they interrogated me, then they criticized me, saying I was irresponsible for abandoning their pregnant daughter. I recounted the entire event without any emotion. Sir, ma'am. First, the child in her womb isn't mine, it's Nicola's. Second, Ada was the one who proposed canceling the wedding and moving in with Nicola. Third, my demand for the return of the dowry and related assets is fair, reasonable, and legal. Fourth, I am already married. Please stop referring to yourselves as my former parents-in-law. There was a long silence on the other end. Then came the sobbing of Ada's mother and the cursing of Ada's father. The cursing wasn't directed at me, but at Ada. You disgrace, you've made us lose all face. They naturally knew that if this went to court, they wouldn't just have to pay, they would lose all reputation among relatives and friends. $30 for the dowry plus other incidentals, totaling $60. For their family, this was not a small sum of money. Ada was dragged back home from Nicola's place by her parents. I heard that their house felt like a disaster zone every day. Her parents scolded her for the catastrophe she caused. Nicola's side was even more chaotic. The lawyer's letter was sent directly to his company, making sure everyone knew the story. He, a man, got the fiancé of someone else pregnant and instigated the girl to deceive both parties. This moral integrity issue directly affected his job. I heard the company leadership had a talk with him. His year-end bonus and promotion both vanished into thin air. He called me, starting to act fake. Alan, man, this matter was my fault. I was possessed by a demon. Look, Ada is pregnant, and you are a generous man. Don't hold a grudge against us anymore. About the money, can we negotiate? Can we take it slowly? No. I coldly refused. Nicola, when you said those words in front of everyone at the party, did you think about saving face for me? When you instigated Ada to play both sides, did you think about my feelings? Now you want to negotiate? Too late, not a single penny can be missing. Don't you want a child? Fine, show some fatherly responsibility. If you don't have the money, sell your soul if you have to, but you will pay. I hung up and blocked his number immediately. Exhilarating, the anger suppressed in my heart had mostly dissipated. Ada began to play the victim in our mutual friend group. She posted photos of morning sickness and shared weeping statuses, implying I was heartless for abandoning her, saying she was just temporarily confused. She had already been punished by me. So why was I still clinging to money and driving her into a corner? Some friends who didn't know the truth, or those with a universal forgiveness complex, started to act as mediators, messaging me privately. Alan, let it go, after all, you once loved each other. She is pregnant, give someone a path to live. I directly dropped 3 things into the group. First, a photo of the full text of the lawyer's letter. Second, a short video, don't know which friend recorded it, of the moment Nicola said the baby was his at the party. Third, the photo of my marriage registration with Catherine. Afterward, I said only one thing. The truth is clear, I have started a new life. Debts must be paid, it's only natural. Anyone who still defends her, I will block you too. After speaking, I pulled Catherine and left all groups related to Ada. The group exploded. The video and the lawyer's letter were ironclad evidence. Ada's victim image collapsed instantly. Those who defended her earlier were left speechless. The tide of public opinion shifted completely. Damn, so that's how it was. Ada is disgusting. I saw something was off at the party. That bastard Nicola. Oh my god, Monday to Friday at the baby daddy's house. And weekends back to Alan's? What kind of logic is that? Alan, this money must be paid. This kind of woman deserves to be taught a lesson. Alan did great, the flash marriage is legendary. Welcome, sister-in-law. Catherine looked at those messages, her face flushing. Why did you even post my picture? You are my legal wife. Why can't I post it? Everyone needs to know that I, Alan, can live perfectly fine without Ada. I'm living 100 times better than her. I looked into Catherine's eyes. You are wonderful. Catherine's face turned even redder, but her eyes were full of pure joy. Ada and Nicola became like rats scurrying across the street, avoided by everyone in the friend group. They were socially isolated, plain and simple. The 7-day deadline passed. Ada's family had no money. Nicola played dead. I instructed my lawyer to file a lawsuit directly with the court. The subpoenas were sent out. This time, the families of Ada and Nicola could no longer sit still. They didn't want to go to court, it was too humiliating. Ada's parents brought Ada, and Nicola was forced to come by his parents too. The two families held a meeting. The agenda was how to pay the money. I heard they argued until the heavens shook. Ada's family scolded Nicola for being a deadbeat, getting her pregnant and not taking responsibility. Nicola's family scolded Ada for being a harlot who ruined their son. Ada was caught in the middle, enduring the rage from both sides. Nicola's poor family background finally played its part. His family was truly broke and already in debt. The salary he earned was barely enough for monthly expenses. In the end, Ada's parents had to take all their retirement savings and borrow from relatives to scrape together $50. For the remaining $10 plus, Nicola was forced to sign a promissory note to pay in installments. The money was transferred to my account. Not a single penny was missing. The day the money arrived, Seattle was hit by a heavy rain. Catherine and I cuddled on the sofa watching a movie. The bank notification popped up. I looked at the string of numbers. My heart completely calm. This wasn't just money, this was my dignity. Catherine leaned on my shoulder. Is it all settled? Yeah, the money is back. So, what about her baby? Catherine was still soft-hearted. That's between her and Nicola. If you choose a path, you have to walk it to the end, even on your knees, I said softly. I heard that after the money was paid, Ada's parents felt so ashamed that they kicked Ada out of the house, telling her to go find Nicola. Nicola, under the pressure and urging of his parents, reluctantly took Ada in. The two of them lived in his tiny 300-square-foot studio. No wedding, no blessings. Only endless arguments and resentment. Nicola blamed Ada for making him lose his job, his future, and for the debt. Ada blamed Nicola for being incompetent and not giving her the life she wanted, making her fall from heaven to hell. The romantic illusion of just wanting to keep the baby for companionship was torn apart by poverty and the harshness of reality. The best friend and good sister, who were once passionately in love, now became resentful shadows, tormenting each other. This was the best punishment for them. My house was sold smoothly. Catherine and I found a new, fully furnished apartment in Silicon Valley. The environment was excellent. On the day of signing the contract, I didn't hesitate to add Catherine's name. She saw her name on the sales contract and burst into tears. Alan, you don't have to do this. I told you, I would be responsible for you. I wiped her tears away. This is our home, a new beginning. I leaned down and gently kissed her. It was light, but very real. I realized that it seemed I was truly starting to like this silly girl. Ada called me. Since I blocked her number, she used different ones to call. I didn't pick up. She sent messages. The content ranged from curses to pleas, to utter regret. Alan, I was wrong. I truly realize my mistake now. My life right now is worse than death. Could you help me just a little, for the sake of our past? The baby is coming soon. Nicola doesn't care about me at all. I don't have money for prenatal checkups. Alan, I miss you so much. I deleted everything and blocked the numbers. As you sow, so shall you reap. My revenge was not a sudden thunderstorm, but the slow boil of a frog in a pot. It was letting her see with her own eyes as she slipped step by step into the abyss. While I stood on the shore, my new life getting better and better, moving further away from her. This feeling, from head to toe, every single pore was damn exhilarating. The new house was quickly furnished. Catherine and I moved in. Life seemed to have truly returned to its trajectory. No, it entered a much better trajectory. Catherine is a treasure. She is a great cook and keeps the house tidy. She is quiet yet interesting. We have many common topics to discuss: movies, books, and details from our college days about her that I had overlooked. I only recently found out that back in college when I played basketball, she was there at every single game. I only recently found out that the singers I like, she likes too. She has collected all their albums. I only recently found out that to stay in the same city as me, she turned down better job opportunities in her hometown. A silent but enduring love, not like Ada's love, passionate but cheap, full of calculation. Beside Catherine, I am very comfortable and at peace. That suffocating feeling of being manipulated and betrayed gradually vanished. I began to proactively hold her hand and hug her. Our relationship, under the absurd start of a flash marriage, has miraculously become like that of a real married couple. At the office, my project is progressing smoothly. I got promoted and a raise. Life is so good it's almost unbelievable. And this, for Ada, was the most fatal blow. She saw it through mutual friends, or caught glimpses of my social media. I didn't block her. I wanted her to see. Knowing I sold the old house, bought a new one, and added Catherine's name. Knowing I was promoted. Knowing Catherine and I are living very well. The happier we are, the more she suffers. Friends occasionally revealed her recent situation, tragic. She and Nicola live in that shabby little apartment. And their conflicts are escalating. Nicola was sidelined at work due to reputation issues, and his income plummeted. The pressure of debt, combined with the baby's arrival, made him irritable. Ada had severe pregnancy reactions, needing care, nutrition, and money. But Nicola couldn't give them to her. He even began to avoid her, not coming home after work and going out to drink with friends. The facade of the best male friend was smashed to pieces, revealing the true face of selfishness, weakness, and irresponsibility. Ada, with her large pregnant belly and no income, is loathed by her in-laws, despised by the baby's father, and shunned by friends. The stable life, the dignified wedding, and the bright future I had provided for her were all destroyed by her own hands. I heard that once she lacked money for a checkup and called Nicola. But he didn't answer. She crouched in the hospital hallway crying pitifully, drawing countless stares. Worse than death is probably her current state. One day, I ran into Nicola downstairs from my office. He looked haggard, his gaze shifty. Seeing me was like a mouse seeing a cat. He stopped me. Alan, let's talk. We have nothing to talk about. I walked around him. It's about Ada, about the baby. He was desperate. She's about to give birth, and she fights with me every day. I can't take it anymore. Alan, I know you hate us, but the baby is innocent. She keeps saying I'm not as good as you, saying she regrets it. How about you take her back? The baby will be mine when it's born. The money I'll pay you back, okay? I stopped and looked at him like he was an idiot. Nicola, is there something wrong with your brain? I laughed out of pure rage. First, I am already married, my wife is Catherine. Second, you're the one who got Ada pregnant. You deal with the mess you made. Third, to me, she is now less than a stranger. You want me to take her back? Do you people even have any shame? Nicola's face flushed deep red. Get lost, don't pollute my sight. I turned and walked away. Nicola shouted behind me, angrily. Alan, don't get cocky. You and Catherine are just a flash marriage with no feelings. You won't be happy. I turned my head and smiled at him. Whether we are happy or not is none of your business. But you and Ada definitely won't be happy. The two of you should stay locked together and torment each other for life. That would be perfect. Seeing Nicola's livid face, I felt completely at ease. Not long after, Ada gave birth to a baby boy. I heard the delivery process was not smooth at all. Nicola and his parents showed up at the hospital, but throughout the entire process, they were cold and distant. During the postpartum recovery month, no one took care of her. Nicola used work as an excuse to leave early and return late. His parents felt Ada had brought shame upon them, focusing only on the baby while ignoring the mother. Ada suffered from postpartum depression, crying every day, and fighting with Nicola's family. She called her own parents, but they only said, "You chose this path yourself, we can't manage it for you." Driven to a dead end, late one night, she sent another message to me from an unknown number. It was a photo, her and the baby together. Her face was sallow, her eyes vacant, the baby was sleeping in her arms. Under the photo was a single line. Alan, the baby is very cute. I regret it. I regret it every single day. Now I have nothing left. Nicola wants to take the child and kick me out. I can't go on living like this. Can you come visit me? Just once, I beg you. I looked at that photo, and there wasn't a single ripple in my heart. No pity, no heartache, only callousness. Catherine came out after her shower and saw me staring intently at my phone. What is it, honey? I handed the phone to her. She glanced at it and was silent. For a moment. She really is pitiful. As you sow, so shall you reap. I deleted the message and blocked the number. A pitiful person always has a despicable side. If I had been soft-hearted then and agreed to her absurd plan, I would be the one suffering right now. She isn't pitiful, she is simply paying the price for her own greed and stupidity. I hugged Catherine. Don't think about her anymore. Let's just live our lives well. Catherine leaned into my chest. After a while, she suddenly whispered, Alan, I missed my period this month. I froze. Her face turned as red as an apple. I took a test this morning. 2 lines. Boom. My mind exploded again, but this time it wasn't thunder. It was fireworks. Extreme joy and a massive sense of happiness immediately submerged me. I was going to be a father. My own child, for real. I suddenly swept Catherine off her feet, spinning her in place. Really, Catherine? You're pregnant, I'm going to be a father. Oh, slow down, be careful. Catherine was both scared and happy, giving me a playful punch. I carefully set her down, knelt, and pressed my ear to her still flat stomach, as if I could hear the heartbeat inside. Life is truly miraculous. God took something filthy from me and returned a far more precious gift. Compared to Ada's despair, my happiness at this moment felt like a resounding slap across her face from afar. This was the ultimate revenge. I was living in the light, while she could only rot in a dark corner. But this wasn't the end. The final judgment, the highest climax, was still waiting for her. The news of Catherine's pregnancy left me completely immersed in bliss. I protected her carefully, took her to checkups, cooked nutritious meals for her, and learned to be a model husband and father. When my parents found out, they were overjoyed beyond measure, rushing from home to Silicon Valley to take care of Catherine. Previously, they had a slight distaste for Ada, finding her too high maintenance. Now, they adored the gentle and sensible Catherine immensely. The relationship between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law was unusually harmonious. Everything was getting better. The bond between Catherine and me deepened rapidly. I was completely in love with this girl. I loved her kindness, her steadfastness, and the warmth of a real family she brought me. A flash marriage with no feelings. Nicola's curse had become a joke. I posted a photo of Catherine's ultrasound on my social media with the caption, "Our newest member is on the way." I didn't tag anyone, I didn't name names. But everyone knew who it was meant for. The feed was immediately flooded with blessings. Congratulations, Alan and Catherine. This is true soulmate energy. Blessings, so good, justice is served. Every one of these blessings was like a knife stabbing into Ada's heart. She saw it, and she went completely insane. That afternoon, while Catherine and I were napping, the doorbell was rung frantically. I frowned and got up to open the door. Through the peephole was a distorted, crazed face. Ada. Her hair was disheveled, she was clutching her baby, and her eyes were bloodshot, like a demon crawling out of hell. I didn't open the door. Through the wood, I asked, "What are you here for?" "Alan, open the door for me." She began to pound on the door with force. The baby was startled and began to scream and cry. "If you keep banging, I'm calling the police." My voice was ice cold. What gives you the right to live such a good life? Why is Catherine pregnant? Why? All of this should have been mine. This house is mine, you are mine. It was Catherine, that vulture who stole it all. It was you are the one who ruined me. She was speaking incoherently, her voice high and shrill. Catherine was awakened, throwing on a robe and coming out. "Who is it, honey?" "Nothing, just a crazy person." I didn't want her to worry. But Ada heard Catherine's voice and became even more manic. "Catherine, come out here, you're a thief, you'll die a miserable death. Your child will die a miserable death too." She began to hurl toxic curses. Rage surged straight to my brain. It was one thing to insult me, but to insult my wife and my unborn child? You're asking for it. I yanked the door open with force. Ada was caught off guard, staggering and nearly falling. She saw me, her eyes full of hatred, and clutching the baby, she charged straight in. "I'll risk my life against you too." I grabbed her arm and shoved her back with force. "Ada, wake up, this is my house. Look at yourself. What do you look like right now? Neither human nor ghost. I ended up like this because of you. Alan, if you had just been a little soft-hearted back then and agreed to my plan, how could we have ended up like this? You loved me so much. Why couldn't you just tolerate me? One time, she wailed. Tolerate you getting pregnant by someone else and then marrying me? Tolerate you living with your lover? Ada, where is your shame? I sneered. I'm telling you, the best decision I ever made in my life was breaking up with you that day and marrying Catherine. I thank you. I thank your betrayal for helping me see you clearly, and for helping me meet someone who truly deserves my love. I pulled Catherine close, wrapping my arm around her waist. Catherine was a bit frightened, but she stood firmly by my side. Do you see? This is my wife, the mother of my child. We are very happy. And you, Ada, you are nothing. You destroyed yourself. Ada watched us leaning into each other, saw Catherine protected in my arms. Her gaze shifted from rage to jealousy to despair, finally turning to ash. She looked at me, tears flowing like a fountain. Alan, I regret it. I truly regret it. Every day I live in hell. Nicola hits me, his family abuses me. They want to take the baby. I only have you left. Please help me, okay? I'm not asking for anything else, just help me get the baby back. I'll raise the child alone and go far away, never to appear before you again. It's too late, my heart had turned to stone. Your business has nothing to do with me. The baby belongs to Nicola. Sort out your own family matters. Leave my house immediately, otherwise, security will be here. In an instant, I took out my phone, making a show of being about to call Alan. A figure rushed out from the stairwell. It was Nicola. He ran up with a panicked face and grabbed Ada. You crazy woman, what are you doing here? You're embarrassing me. Nicola, let go, you bastard. Ada, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, began to strike Nicola. The baby between them screamed and cried. Nicola, losing patience, gave her a shove. You get home right now. Alan, sister-in-law, I'm sorry, so sorry. He dragged Ada away. She has postpartum depression, she's not in her right mind. I'll take her away immediately. Ada clung to the doorframe for dear life. I'm not going, Alan. Look at the baby. Didn't you used to love children? Look at him. I looked at the baby. He was innocent. But he was the product of the greed and betrayal of Ada and Nicola. I didn't have a shred of feeling for him. My gaze moved past them, resting on Catherine's slightly protruding belly. That was my own flesh and blood, my future. I looked at Ada, every word clear. Ada, you and your child, you and Nicola, everything about all of you makes me feel disgusted. Don't you ever appear before me again. I slammed the door shut, closing out all the misery, all the ugliness, and all of the past. Outside was Ada's desperate crying, Nicola's cursing, and the baby's shrieks. Inside, Catherine hugged me, burying her head in my chest. Catherine, don't be afraid. It's all over. I stroked her hair. Alan, I love you. Her voice was choked up, carrying the relief of a narrow escape. I love you too, Catherine. I leaned down and kissed her hair. This was the first time I had said, I love you, to her. From the bottom of my heart.